We're doing another live today. I kind of wanted to touch on um, what we talked about in one of my previous lives, but more so depicted on natural hair and the gifts of doing your own natural hair and being able to maintain your own natural hair. Um, because I was kind of talking about the overly priced issues that a lot of us 4C hair havers were having or are currently having with getting our hair done, laying lace fronts, and getting lace fronts applied and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to touch on the reasons why I say that. And it's not to get on anybody who doesn't have a natural talent for braiding hair. But at one point, the black community, we used to all braid our own hair, or we used to braid each other's hair as we were young. Um, like our grandmothers used to braid our hair. Our moms used to upkeep our hair, put our hair in twists, and things like that to go to school. And then we get the perm, okay? And I'm an 80s baby once again. So I understand the fact that some people feel like they cannot handle their own natural hair without a perm. I completely understand that. But you should be able to handle your own texture 4C hair grade without a perm, without having a perm. And I say that because at one point, especially in my 20s, I say around like 16 up to like, oh man, for a while, I want to say to like my early 30s maybe. I used to believe that I can only handle my own texture without a perm. And that kind of sucks because a lot of the parents that don't know how to handle their own hair without a perm, they begin to teach their own kids that you kind of need a perm. And then after that, the gift of learning how to braid your own hair and handle your own texture without maintaining one is completely gone because we have a thicker grade of hair. And it does take more strength to handle 4C hair. And in my opinion, that's what makes the African American community so strong, because our texture is strong. You may get tired with your arms up in the air with braiding, etc. But in my idea, that is the strength of us. Okay. That is our own natural strength, that our texture is a lot thicker. It takes more time to comb through, and as some people say, it's waterproof. Not exactly that it's waterproof, but it has the ability to maintain more moisture opposed to a thinner grade of hair. I'm trying to slow down because I want to make sure that I address this the correct way. Coming from my aspects, from me and my cousins who were like sisters to me, my aunts and everything. We used to braid each other's hair at a young age. So being able to do that at a younger age, you kind of learn very young how to handle your own texture. But nowadays, when you look at people who have to go to the salon to get their hair braided down, they can't handle their texture. Oh girl, and they think it's cute. Oh girl, I can't do nothing without a perm. I don't know how to handle my hair. Oh, my hair is too thick and this and that. No, stop saying that your hair is too thick. If your hair is thick, that's actually a blessing. A lot of times I have to check myself, because if my hair is too thick, that's actually a blessing, because would you want it to be thin? It doesn't make no sense. So I would rather say, instead of saying that in so many words that you were cursed with thick hair, you were blessed with thick hair. Okay. And a lot of people need to really, you know, and it comes from being young, when you get the chance to teach your kids how to handle their own hair, braiding their hair. Because I mean, a lot of the parents, you braid your own kids' hair, you twist their hair up, you put in barrettes, you do all of that, right? So why not be able to teach them how to braid their own hair at a young age, so when they become adults, not only can they handle their own texture, but they can teach their kids, which is your grandkids and your great grandkids, and then on, how to handle their own hair. I really call that a transfer of blessings when it comes to your roots. Okay. I know it's an African tribe that everybody used to go viral, because the grandmother used to braid the daughter's hair, and then the daughter used to braid the grandbaby's hair, and they used to all handle their hair at the same time. But in America, for some reason, we don't do that anymore. Okay. We depend on a stylist to braid our hair down. You have to go, and I'm a braider, and I'm African American, so I think I have the capabilities of saying this. You have to pay someone to braid your hair down in order to put on a lace front, to have a style or something like that, to have a maintained, to even have a protective hairstyle itself. You need to have a protective hairstyle. When, in my opinion, I'm not no hair guru, but you know, by me being an 80s baby, I can say from experience that what keeps my hair protected is that I always keep my hair braided up. No matter whether you see a lace front, if you see braids, if you see straight hair, if you see a bob, you see curly styles, 9 times out of 10, I had to braid my own natural hair up under it, to sew it, to put on a lace front, to do whatever to it, even when it comes to adding a closure piece, because we're 4C hair and you have to braid it down. And when you put the perm in, you literally cannot braid your hair for a certain amount of, maybe a month or 2, or else your hair is going to deal with breakage, it's going to have damage, it's going to be easier for your hair to come out. You know, it makes the strands a lot weaker. You're going to notice that if you try to braid permed hair opposed to braiding natural 4C hair. Okay. And I just hate to hear someone say, oh, and they think it's a slay. Oh, I can't do nothing without a perm, and my hair gotta be perm. Okay, that's cute. But if you do it wrong one time, if you misperm your hair incorrectly, one time you've messed up years of growth. Like literally. You know what I'm saying? Past if you go past to the part that's already be permed, and if you haven't just gotten the root itself. That's why I hate to perm, because it takes one time to misperm your hair, and you have to maintain a perm once you have the perm, or else you can't comb through it, because once you get past the natural hair, the kinks, and you perm through and you comb through something that is perm, you're going to have a lot of breakage, like, you know. And a lot of y'all, you don't find it interesting at a young age, because it's okay to you to waste extra money to go to the stylist to do a braid down that you honestly could have done yourself. It's a waste of money, one. Two, the stylist is always charging you extra money to comb out your hair, to wash it, to blow dry, etc. When a lot of that is just at home maintenance, you should honestly be able to do that yourself. You know, so me personally, I take it as a blessing when you're young and your mom teaches, not only braid your hair, twist your hair up and put in barrettes, and teaches you how to braid your hair. Like, especially if you're among sisters, let's say you have a lot of daughters, and if I had 3 girls, I would be teaching my 3 daughters how to braid their own hair. I mean, that's money management as well when you think about it, because if they are not able to braid their own hair, you have to find a stylist to handle that for them every time. As an adult, you can't handle your own hair. It's in my eyes, it's ridiculous, because we used to do it as kids. We used to braid each other's hair down, and I know at some point when you have daughters, you braid their hair down. Why not teach them the gift of handling their own texture, instead of saying, okay, it's time for you to get a perm, your hair is too thick. Stop saying that your daughter's hair is too thick. No, you're blessed with thick hair. Okay? That's just straight up. You're blessed with thick hair. That's not a negative. A lot of times it was put in our head at years ago that our hair was nappy, that it was too thick, it was too full, it was unable to maintain. They were saying that our hair don't grow past a certain inch. And a lot of that was a lie, because they trained us not to know how to handle our hair. That is African American history, if you think about it. They trained us not to know how to handle our hair. They were jealous of the textures of our hair. We couldn't even wear our hair out. We had to cover our hair. If you read the books in history of African American history, they were so jealous of African American women that they would not allow us to wear our natural hair out. Then we came up with all types of strategic, beautiful head wraps that we will put on. Then we came up with beautiful head wraps, and they got jealous of the head wraps that we used to create back in the day. And they used to tell us that we couldn't wrap our hair up the way we were wrapping it. We got creative with the head wraps, because they told us we couldn't wear our hair wrap. They would take us somewhere and cut our hair off once it grew differently, because we would do intricate things with our hair. Even back in the day, we would put our hair in styles that no other woman from another nationality could do. How comfortable would you be completely blind? Person touching your face. Hornet, please stop. You're not even on topic. Okay? The topic is the natural styles that African American women used to have that no other nationality could put in their hair, because the textures of our hair was so thick that we could make bows and creations out of our hair. And that's what made them jealous of African American women back in the day. So we were trained not to know how to handle our natural 4C hair. Told that our hair was nappy, it didn't look right, and then y'all start putting that same type of negative mindset into each other's head. You see what I'm saying? And now, most of the time, you think about it, they say, oh, you know, that's even with Martin. If you old school like me, you know the TV show Martin. When Martin used to tell Pam, oh, I see your BD beats. It was funny back in the day. It was a joke. It was all fun in nature, but you had the kids talking to each other about how nappy their hair was. Like we literally was trained to not like our own natural hair, our 4C hair, okay? So like I said, it's a blessing and not a curse to have thick 4C hair. You have to teach the babies how to handle their hair nowadays. There's no reason why the children should be walking around without their hair combed, their heads combed, and then without having protective styles. That's how you have bald spots and everything in your hair, because you're not doing the protective styles that keeps the hair from unraveling and splitting from the ends all the way down to the root shaft of your hair. That's how you begin to lose your hair. Like I said, I'm not no guru, but the reason for the protective style is to keep the split ends from going all the way down to the root of the shaft. It's cute to have your hair naturally out every now and then. Give it a break. Let it breathe. It's supposed to breathe. But at the same time, let me remove that. But at the same time, it has to be a protective style to make sure that your split ends do not go all the way down to the root of your hair. That's how you get bald spots. Not saying that you should braid your hair so tight that we Chinese. Okay? A lot of y'all, that was a thing too one day. Oh, braid it so tight, girl, I want to look Chinese. I want to snatch at the end of the eyes like this, girl. I want to look like this. No, you're not Chinese. Your hair should not be that tight. Okay, we African American people, and it's time for us to take. Don't get me wrong. I'm proud of the fact that a lot of us have started to realize that we are embracing our 4C texture hair. I'm so amazed at that nowadays. Don't get me wrong. I am amazed at how many black people are actually embracing their 4C textures now in 2026. For the 2020s, we have really embraced our own texture. But a lot of us are missing how to handle our own 4C hair. For some reason, we don't know how to handle it. You know, and it's like, oh, because I'm a braider, I braid hair. And a lot of them come, oh, girl, I need you to braid my hair down so I can put on the lace front. Oh, I need my hair braided. Girl, you can't braid your hair down. It's very simple. Ain't nobody gonna see it under the lace front. You can braid it down so easily and just put on your own lace front, and ain't nobody gonna be charging you $45 and above to put it on. Let's say you don't know how to put the lace front on. At least you saving yourself some money, because you know how to wash, blow dry your hair, and put on a lace front. Okay? So, I mean, that's just crazy. It was another thought that I had about the natural hair. Oh yeah, a lot of the stylists, they tell you, oh, you gotta come with your hair washed, permed, and or blew out in order for me to handle it, or I'm gonna charge you extra money because your hair is too long. I gotta charge you extra money because you came to me and your hair wasn't blowed out and you didn't wash your hair. What you mean? So you mean to tell me that you, as a hairstylist, you don't know how to handle a client's 4C hair, and you're going to tell someone that you're charging her extra because of the fact that she came to you without blowing her hair out using heat? What if your client prefers not to use heat? So you're going to charge her extra. And hold on, y'all, I got a phone call. This is good. This is good. I'm gonna call y'all. I'm gonna come right back on live later, but I gotta take this call.